Greetings. How can I help?
Have you found Casper yet?
I did. But Henry, be very careful. There's a reason I left Casper for last. The man is a real beast. I just wanted to be sure you had it in you.
And you reckon I do?
I hope so. What about you? Think you can take him on?
I do.
Then listen up, lad. His band is one of the biggest. But it's not just about them. Casper himself is deadly in his own right. A real beast, like I said. A vicious, cruel bastard who'll stop at nothing to get his way.
Great. Do you at least know how to get to him?
Unfortunately not. I'd love to help you, but I don't know how. I've always been a bit leery of the fucker myself.
Where should I look for Casper and his band?
From what I hear, they've holed up in a forest near Apollonia. Be careful. The rocks are treacherous. It's easy to lose your way, even in broad daylight. And if you go there at night, be bloody careful, you hear?
Aye, I understand. Why is he hiding there, of all places?
Weren't you listening? It'll be bloody hard to find them there. And to make it there unnoticed would be damned near impossible. What's more, I heard they recently got their hands on a fine bit of loot, so I guarantee they'll be keeping close watch over it.
This is starting to sound more and more like a suicide mission.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll figure it out. I believe in you, lad.
One more time. Where exactly is Casper's camp?
At the edge of Apollonia, head as far north as you can. You'll find it around there somewhere.
So this Casper of yours, what can you tell me about him?
Yeah, he's a greedy old bastard, I'll tell you that. He'll sell his own soul for a couple of groschen, and he don't trust nobody. You touch his money, and you might as well dig your own grave.
And there's still people left in his gang.
Laugh all you want, lad. I once saw him kill a man in cold blood, just because he thought he'd skimmed off the loot.
And did he?
No. They didn't find anything. But it didn't make much of a difference to the poor dead bloke.
That's everything I need to know.
Wait a mo. There's something of his I need you to bring me. To prove he's really gone.
Really? You still want to test me?
Old habits die hard. I want his ring. It's a big gold one.
Have a soft spot for trinkets, do you? Didn't expect that of you.
That fucker put it on every time he wanted to bash someone's teeth in. The edges are quite sharp. And I've got an old souvenir from him myself. Just under my ear.
All right. If I come back in one piece, I'll bring you Casper's ring.
God bless Henry.
Go! 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 No, I shouldn't leave now. Go! Quick! Just a bit further. Whoa!
swine!
What on? Show what you... Hey! Get him! You want to try me?
With me! Let's try you, son. I've got to get out of here. Fuck. I've been waiting for you. Show your stuff. Show what you... What do you want? Alert!
Welcome. What can I do for you?
Casper is with the Lord now.
That's the last flea out of the mattress. Good job, Henry. What about the ring? Have you got it?
I've got it here.
Aye, that's the one. Nice and shiny. It matches my eyes, don't you think?
Do you think I could have it?
I don't know. I was going to keep it for myself, since the bastard left a scar on me with it. But all right, you rid the world of that bastard, so I suppose you deserve it.
Thanks, Guild. If Casper was the last of your band, then we've got them all.
Indeed. The local lords can rest easy once again.
And what about you?
Aye. Me too, for that matter. If you hadn't taken care of them, it'd just be a matter of time before they came to take me out. I'm nothing but a bloody turncoat to them now. And the punishment for that is harsh. On both sides. So thanks, Henry.
What's next for you?
Now? Serving Lord Sameen. Now that I've put my past to rest, hopefully he'll be able to trust me.
That'll be quite the change, no?
Yeah, it sure will. I just wonder if I'm not too old. If it's not too late for me already. I don't know if I can get used to it, but I reckon we'll see.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Likewise. And actually, here, managed to get a bit of silver out of Sameen. Lord knows you deserve it.
Thanks. Well, I suppose this is goodbye.
Maybe we'll see each other at Sameen's wedding. And if not, come and see me anytime. You're good, Henry, I'll give you that. But there are still things I can teach you. Farewell, Henry.
So you're that Grand Master?
What did you call me? Who's been telling you stories about me?
It's just that I've heard you're the best fighter far and wide.
Ah, so that's what this is about. I haven't been called that in a long while, lad. And who might you be?
My name's Henry, and I know a bit about fighting myself. I reckon I've beaten every fighter in the region. So I got sent to you.
You mean to beat me too, eh? I don't know. I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
I came all the way here to see you. I'm giving you the chance to hit me with impunity. Do I really have to try to convince you?
At least embarrassment doesn't hurt. But bruises, cuts, and a broken nose, on the other hand.
Are you trying to intimidate me?
Not at all. I just want to be sure you know what you're getting yourself into.
I've been through a lot worse. You won't dissuade me with that.
All right then. If it's really what you want, let's dance. But I have two conditions. First of all, we'll only fight once. I don't want you begging for a rematch when you lose. And second, the fight ends when one of us gives up. I don't want to have to try to revive you. Got it?
All right, agreed. Should we get right into it?
Fine. Let's get this over with. Let's go over there, so you don't trample my herbs. Ready? You're telling me you beat all the fighters in the area? Don't be a coward and attack! Curva! I'm wounded! You're telling... Don't slow down.
There. That's that.
You really gave me a licking, lad. Who'd have thought you had it in you?
You pack a hell of a punch yourself. For a herbalist, that is.
Well, now what? I'd hate to send you home empty-handed.
I didn't challenge you for money.
And I'm not offering you any. Let me clean up your wounds at least. Or I could show you how to treat them yourself. What do you say?
Actually, why not? I could stay for a little while.
That's more like it. And listen, what if that moment were to last a little longer? I have some lovely aged mead here. We could chat a while. I don't get many visitors here.
Did you say mead?
Homemade, my friend. Come, let's have a toast to our fight. Come on, have another with me.
Another one? This'll be the 7th. I think. I'm not a fish.
Don't be like that. You can't leave now anyway. You just puke in my flower bed and fall asleep on an anthill somewhere.
Well, that's your fault for living in a hut in the middle of nowhere.
It has its benefits too, you know.
Aye? And what benefits?
I'm my own master here. I don't give a flying toss about what's happening somewhere in the village.
Isn't it a bit of a lonely life?
Don't make me out to be some kind of hermit. I get people coming here for herbs, salves, and once in a blue moon, someone comes and challenges me to a fight.
Does that happen often?
Not the fighting part, but people have been coming here for herbs more and more often. If they're polite and ask nicely, I even let them pay me back later. Times are tough.
Sounds pretty boring.
You might be surprised. It can get pretty scary in the woods at night. Especially now, with all those bandits roaming the region.
Aren't you afraid they'll come here?
What would they do here? I'm just a dirty herbalist with a hut full of dried plants. Unless they're at death's door themselves.
What would you do if someone like that came to you?
I don't rightly know myself. A broken leg or a dagger in the gut hurts everyone the same. That's true. But when I just think about that scum going off and killing someone the next day, it sends chills down my spine.
What made you move to this lonely place?
You think someone forced me?
Well, they say herbalists have green thumbs, not fists of steel. Did you get into some kind of trouble?
That's an interesting thought, but you're dead wrong. I just found myself here one day and decided to stay. I learned to like it here and make do with the little I had. I can teach you if you'd like.
Oh, a nice instrument. Maybe I should learn to play it and become a wandering minstrel.
Oh, God. What now?
I've got that loot for you.
Incredible! Magnificent! Fascinating!
You really got it! Give me that lovely thing so I can fondle her.
Such a noble instrument is just begging to celebrate art and life.
It's like it's saying, hey, with me in your hands, you'll be able to grab any wench you want.
How can you take such a fine thing and abuse it for vulgar gain?
Abuse? No, friend. Put to good use.
Come on, play me something, will you?
Give me a moment. I just have to hold it like this, and...
What's that you have there? Hey, let me see. How the hell do you... hold it? Ah, Anna has tiny tits, like a pair of cherry pits. Uh-oh.
Christ, no!
The idiot broke the strings!
What are you doing, you idiot? Do you know what I had to do to get that loot?
I'm sorry, but... mate, I'll best be off now, eh?
Fuck! Shit! You fucking whoreson! Your ma should have dumped you on the manure heap the moment you were born. What's gonna happen with that loot?
Use it for firewood. It'll burn nicely with that lacquer.
What? Henry, sick him! I mean, give him what for?
Hey, why don't we all just simmer down? After all, it was an accident.
Yeah, of course it was an accident. I wanted to give it a stroke.
There you go. I mean, look at him. Drunk as a lord. Stinks to high heaven.
Who? Me?
See? He doesn't know which way is up. He's got all the dexterity of a donkey.
Donkey? I'll give you a donkey, you goose. I'll kill you.
Him!
Enough,
Henry!
leave me be.
There's something I need to talk to you about.
You've been kissed by the muse and have a poem to share with me? Wonderful. But let's save it for the tavern. Look at this mess, Henry. That booze-soaked oaf broke the strings.
It's the fucking 8th plague of Egypt. What are we going to do?
All is lost. A dark cloud has descended upon us. We'll be grubbing dung till the end of our lives.
Farewell, Kuttenberg. Farewell, city damsels.
We could replace those strings with new ones, couldn't we?
Look, old pal. Henry himself is offering to lend a hand.
The hunter Vostatek told me once that he made some strings for someone. He can make some for us.
Vostatek? I know him. In fact, he owes me.
Really? Damn. Too bad he doesn't owe us. Who knows what he'll charge me and Michael for the strings?
Sometimes the price is just too high to pay.
Especially when you ain't got a groschen to your name.
All right. I'll go and see what he says.
All praise and glory to you. May you and all your kin be honored for 7 generations for all you have done for us unfortunate artists. How exactly did Vostate say he made...
Damned rain! God bless you.
I'm trying to get strings for a loot, and I hear you know all about that.
I do, but it ain't so straightforward. You have to sacrifice an animal for that.
You mean an altar? Candles, mysterious chanting and stuff?
Nah, nothing like that. You just have to get a sheep, find the thinnest gut, and weave strings from it. You can eat the rest.
I don't know how to gut animals.
Well, you're just gonna have to learn. Run along to the woods and bag a deer, or a few hares, eh? You won't get much of any use out of them at first, but after a bit of practice, you'll get there.
And meanwhile, I'll clear half your forest of game.
You'd have your work cut out, lad. But if you'd rather, you can always buy those guts from a butcher.
All right. I'll get the guts somewhere.
The Takov folk have sheep aplenty. If you killed one, they wouldn't even notice. It would serve that bastard Prochek right anyway. He's put up the price of his liquor again.
Christ, pardon me.
Greetings.
Show me your wares.
Pleasure doing business. Take care. God bless.
Good day.
I've got that sheep gut for you.
I hope you killed the poor creature before you pulled it out of its rectum. Or did you chicken out and buy it somewhere? Not that I care. Wait here a while and I'll make them strings for you.
unrequited love and French sonnets.
I got those strings for you.
Ah, how the hills shall ring out in gladness to their glorious sound.
We'll fix the loot and head off for Kuttenberg, fame and fortune. All praise to you, friend.
Right. I hope that's all you need.
If only, Henry, old pal. It's just there's still one little fuck-up. Friend, we have a problem. The innkeeper doesn't want us to leave. Says Kuttenberg isn't the place for us.
Can you imagine? He who never set foot outside his village wants to block 2 free souls in their path to fame.
And fortune.
And recognition.
And under the skirts of town maidens.
Beast. In short, dear friend, you must have a word with him. You're worldly wise. He's sure to listen more to you than to us.
Hang on. How can the innkeeper keep you from going anywhere?
Well, you know, he's incapable of grasping that the artistic soul needs to fly as free as a bird.
Aye, he's an
Ignoramus.
Besides, we owe him a bit of coin.
Well, why don't you pay him back then?
That's just it. We'd love to. We could always scrape together a few groschen.
But it's not coin he's after. He wants us to work off our debt.
He lets you two drink on credit? How so?
Because he's a damn crook.
He knows we can't pay back our debt outright, but he counts every wretched sip we take and adds it to the burden we have to shoulder.
Well, why don't you just up and run for it?
And sully our honour? Never.
And also, the innkeeper would tell the bailiff and he'd come looking for us. We don't want to end up in the stocks.
Why do I have to be the one to solve it for you?
Because we don't have time. We have to concentrate on composing our songs, creating art. Art!
Believe me, friend, once we get to Kuttenberg and make a shitload of coin, we'll pay you back double.
Tell you what, tenfold.
I'll have a word with him and we'll see what happens.
That's the spirit.
Let's drink to that!
I hear Michael and George have run up a small debt with you.
A small debt? They owe me a whole heap of work, my friend. A month ago, I told them to dig a hole for shit behind the barn, and I'm still waiting. There's a privy there, but now it's full. The shit has nowhere to go but downhill. It's flowing down to the bathhouse. The other day, they promised that if I poured them a drink, they'd haul sacks of chaff to the barn. They boozed for free all night and swathed down sausages till they were as greasy as a card axle. But that chaff is still out in the damp and rain.
Can't they just pay what they owe you?
This has nothing to do with the coin. Those two need to learn some responsibility. Damn their idle hands. Nothing can cure their laziness but labour.
So, haul some sacks and empty the latrine. And then the debt is paid?
Aye, but I'll bet my boots that even if those two miraculously got off their asses, they'd still manage to rack up another debt in no time.
What is it Michael and George have to do to pay off their debt?
Haul sacks of chaff to the wagon and empty the overflowing latrines. Once that's done, we'll be quits.
Well, we can always work on our lyrics.
Oh, good grief. What on earth are they eating to shit this out? I should have ditched those songsters ages ago.
Good doggy. Good boy.
Greetings.
going out in public. Take a bath first.
Christ, you stink to high heaven! Ugh, rain. Just what we needed.
One more time.
Oh, damn. This is throwing my back out. From my neck to my arse.
You're going out in public.
That's it!
The jobs have been done. Like you wanted.
But I gather from the stench you did it all by yourself, and those two dolts didn't lift a finger again, did they? Fuck! How is that supposed to drum the idleness out of them?
It won't. But what can you do?
Nothing. The job's done, so the debt is settled, I suppose. Michael and George can go to the devil for all I care.
Thanks. I'm sure they'll be delighted.
Sooner or later, someone will wring their necks anyway. Not everyone will be as soft on them as me.
You stir my blood and make the ugliest...
I've squared things with the innkeeper. Your debt's been settled.
Our saviour! We knew you'd support our artistic souls and save our mortal bodies.
May your name live in glory!
Your glory shall be sealed by the song we wrote for you.
Oh my God, what have you done?
Fuck yeah! For you and about you, our hero!
Definitely not going to sing those words, right?
Which words?
You know exactly what
I'm
words.
just joking. Right, you ready?
Can't tune the strings.
You've got one job. Good? Right.
When it seems you're out of luck, there's just one man who gives a fuck. A friend who'll never leave you stuck. Now who can that friend be? Well?
Ludwig?
Henry, our hero Henry, the fellow who helps his fellow man. Henry, reliable Henry, he gets the job done the best he can. Oh, oh, oh.
Watch out, here we go.
Oh, oh.
I can't hear you in the back.
When you want to string your lute and trumpet with your black drum, who will pull a sheep gut out through the creature's rectum? Oh, Henry, we thank you, Henry, the fellow who helps his fellow man.
His fellow man!
Henry, let's drink to Henry, he gets the job done the best he can.
Yeah!
So, how did you like it?
Weren't we fantastic? I tell you, that loot really gave it a punch.
I'd say we were incomparable. Chi la dura la vince. You can't keep a good man down. The world awaits us.
Awaits us with open arms.
It was quite interesting.
Interesting?
I mean, I never heard anything like it in my life.
Ah, you want to say new? New and original?
Yeah, that's it. Definitely original. Maybe a bit too much.
Ha! I knew you'd like it.
Dear Enrico, thank you for everything. It's time for us to shake the dust of this God-forsaken place off our feet and seek our fortune in the big wide world.
Kuttenberg, here we come!
New life, here we come.
I wish you good fortune. Maybe we'll meet again one day.
If you come to Kuttenberg, you will surely hear of us. Farewell.
Farewell.
It happens. Just watch where you're going.
Well, are you still fighting people?
Of course. Do you want to try again? Farewell.
Praise God.
What about one more fight?
I don't have anything better to do anyway. Not so fast. Do you have anything to bet?
I do. Here.
Say your prayers. All right, so you won.
Thanks for the fight.
You can shove your thanks up your ass. Here, it's yours. Careful.
Good morning to you.
So how's it going?
Good.
Anything new at the mill?
Not really.
Are you still organising fights?
Aye. Do you want to join?
Come on, let's fight some more.
Again? All right. But we still have to make a bet.
Here's the money.
Good. Defend yourself. Aye, farewell. Oh, say, Henry, you battered me pretty good. Here's your money. Enjoy it.
Are you still fighting sometimes?
Sure. What else am I supposed to do all day?
What about another brawl?
Damn, you're enjoying this. But don't forget the bet.
Here's the money.
That's more like it. Are you ready? You really kicked my ass.
You alright?
It's nothing compared to a beating from Vera. Here, your winnings. You earned it.
Good day to you.
Are you still looking for a helper, like you mentioned at the Troskovitz Tavern?
Hi, I am. I wasn't expecting you to actually show up. You young folks these days are all talk and no action.
Well, I'm not like that. I also heard you might be able to get me into the wedding.
Forget about the wedding for now.
All right. So what kind of work do you have for me?
You'll be carrying sacks of flour.
Well, I probably won't find anything better around here anyway.
The sacks are in the barn, and the wagon is in front of it. I'll give you a groschen for every half dozen you carry. You won't have to buy food. We'll take care of that. And you can sleep here, in the barn. But not on the sacks of flour, you understand? Or I'll tan your hide. Climb up to the loft with the others.
Oh, fuck me.
Careful what you wish for. Go on, get to work. Take care. Excuse me.
Maybe this one will be lighter. Ah, fucking hell. Oh, what a slug. Oh, fuck, that's heavy. This is no joke. Maybe this one will be lighter. What the hell is in this thing? Oof. Bit heavy for flour.
My God. What stinks here?
This is no joke. Maybe this one will be lighter.
Gives him a groschen for every half dozen too.
What the hell is in this thing? Kurwa. What the?
Have you got it done? I said, are you done?
You're milling some pretty peculiar grain here, Miller. It's got a bit of a metallic flavour to it.
Kurwa. Can't you be more careful?
Tell me the truth. What are you really doing here?
Seems I'll have to lift the lid off the cauldron of knowledge sooner than I expected. You think you're ready?
Yes.
I'm attempting to convert matter into a truly miraculous energy.
What?
I understand. It seems impossible. I'm sure you're asking yourself what that has to do with the metal in the sacks. But we're only just scratching the surface. You see, for my experiment, I'll need something sinfully earthy. Something we'll have to appropriate. And that's something you can help me with, my curious apprentice.
I'll help you.
That's the right attitude. Now listen up. In Troskovitz, next to the tavern, there's a rat house. And in that rat house, there's a chest. And in that chest is a document I need. One that used to be mine. But due to an unfortunate twist of fate, ended up there. It's called The Offer of Hermes Trismegistus. It's written right on it. Can you read? At least a little?
I can read. But I reckon that's the catch, isn't it?
The catch is, the chest is under lock and key, and most likely well guarded.
Of course it is. And then you'll get me into Semin's wedding?
Aye. If you help me, I'll find a way to get you there. Miller's honor.
I'd like to learn more about the art. Where exactly should I look for this document? I doubt they've only got one chest in the Troskovitz rat house.
I can't help you there, but my hand Zinnik might know more. He had the document on him, but then the bloody fool got caught because of something else, and they took it from him. I'm pretty sure he's still on display in the stocks on the square. Just remember, lad, if you get caught like he did, the guards will turn out your pockets. Then it will be pretty hard to explain what a tramp like you is doing with a document he can't even read.
No, I doubt the bailiff will let me roam around the rat house and go peeking through his chests. Any advice on getting in there without being spotted?
Oh, come on. Do I really have to spell it out for you? Black clothes, a play of light and dark. A quiet night, and those who live in the shadows, concealed beneath its veil.
Is that supposed to be advice?
Just get some inconspicuous clothing and head over there after midnight.
And where can I get some clothes like that?
I had my outfit washed in the Gilioff bathhouse, but after a bit of disagreement, they refused to give it back. It's my gift to you. All you have to do is pick it up.
Pick them up? You want me to steal them, don't you?
Doesn't it sound like a suitable appetizer before the main course? There's no sense in trying to deal with the owner, Dorothy, anyway. She's a contrary woman who's impossible to talk to.
I'm not even surprised your paths crossed, all right? I reckon I know everything I need. Thanks. Crazel said you'd teach me to pick pockets.
All right, follow me. So Crazel took you on just like that? Surprising. Crazel hardly trusts anyone. He's a smart man. So don't you even think about betraying him. That would end badly for you. Not to scare you, though. That's not what I'm here for.
Let's begin.
Not so fast. You're new here, so here's some advice before we get started.
Don't worry. It's not my first time.
Well, well, well. You fancy yourself. Let's see. Where would you look for keys on a person?
In the front pouch, of course.
All right. I see you have some skills. Do you think you're up to stealing something from the front?
I'm not quite ready for that.
Don't you want to hear about it anyway?
All right. Tell me.
First of all, rich or poor, most folks carry their things in a pouch either in front or in the back. The front one holds keys, coin, and other small items.
And the rest is in the back?
Exactly. Now, this is important. Don't steal from the front pouch unless you're sure you know what you're doing.
Well, what if I need something from it? Like a key to a chest?
You can try taking it from behind. It'll be more difficult, but it's manageable if you're careful enough. Show me how nimble your fingers are then.
All right, let's do it.
Come to me. Have you started yet? Gotcha! Pay attention or you'll get caught. Want to try again?
Done.
Very nice. I didn't notice you at all, and that's exactly what you want. Now give back what you took.
Here you go. What now?
That's it. It's a simple art. But if you want, you can give it another try.
I'd rather try takedowns.
Why not, since we're here? Well then, it's easy. Sneak up behind me and choke me out. I won't fight back the first time, so you should have no trouble. Just remember, you mustn't let me see you.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Bastard! See? And I didn't even defend myself. Try it again. Remember, if your victim is able to defend himself, you can still turn things around. But it'll be a close call, shall we? Bastard! See? And I didn't even defend myself. Try it again. Remember. You shit! See? And I didn't even defend myself. Try it again. Remember. If your victim is able to defend himself, you can still turn things around. But it'll be a close call, shall we? You shit! Not like that. Try again. 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 Bastard! No, try again. Bastard! Not like that. Try again. You... I almost slipped out. But you did well. Just remember, a person who wriggles out the first time will remember you.
Would you know of any other way to make some extra money?
The only thing you can do in this backwater is steal cabbages. But go and ask those woodcutters on the opposite hill. You might find something more interesting there.
Why the woodcutters?
Just think about it. They've been cutting timber in the middle of nowhere for a pretty long time, and they get paid for every wagon they unload at the sawmill. They work all day long and don't move an inch. They have nothing to spend their money on.
I think I know what you're getting at.
All their earnings must be hidden somewhere in their camp. And it must be a lot of money.
I like the way you think. I reckon I'll pay them a visit.
But if you're stupid enough to get caught, don't say a word about me putting you up to it. You hear? First, I'd lose my job, and then they'd beat me to a pulp.
Don't you worry. Can I practice picking pockets again?
Why not, since we're here? So what then? I don't have all day. Come on now, stop stalling.
Can I?
Yeah. You know how it goes.
All right, let's do it.
Come to me. Have you started yet? You've got to be inconspicuous, so I don't see you.
You have a kind master, eh, doggy?
Excellent. Excellent. Next time it'll be even better.
I can't really smell it anymore. Or was I imagining it all along?
These are some fine thieving clothes.
Those things you've got on, you must have...
You silly... Hey, you must have stolen that from us. Now you're walking around with it on?
Get out of here, mutt! No one wants to hear your barking! Get out of here, mutt! No one wants to hear your barking!
The offer of Hermes Trismegistos. That's Crazel's document.
Fucking job.
God bless.
Are you going to do what we talked about?
Aye, of course.
Excuse me.
Good day to you.
I have that document from the rat house for you.
Excellent. I knew I could count on you.
I took a look at the document. I couldn't really make much of it. Who's this Hermes Trismegistos?
My fifth cousin. We write to each other sometimes.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
Did you find my family tree at the rat house, too? Now show it to me, so I can finally get the knowledge. Good. Good. This will come in handy. Ah, yes. Of course.
What now?
That much? Going to need more. A lot more.
Did you hear me? What now?
Sorry. I got lost in thought. I owe you my thanks as well as reward for getting me the document. And maybe another little job? What do you say?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. I need to get to that wedding in Semine.
Don't worry. Your path is leading that way. Only it'll be a little longer than expected.
Are you yanking my pizzle?
Not at all. I'll get you to the wedding as sure as the heavens are above me, and the fire of the Creator is within me. But you'll have to wait a while. Besides, things are about to get really interesting. Step by step, we're moving closer to the great revelation.
Enough. I'm sick of listening to your cryptic blabbering. Supposing you first initiate me into the mysteries of your enchanting mill. This isn't any run-of-the-mill business, so to speak. I smell something devilish here.
Devilish? Not at all. It's high learning. Alchemy! And when I say alchemy, I mean real alchemy. Not some hocus-pocus brewing of potions for creaky joints and bellyache.
Tell me more about it, then. Maybe I'll learn something useful.
I wouldn't be so sure. But I've taken you on as an apprentice, so I might as well tell you something. Now, pay close attention. I want to make a golem out of dough. Then, using secret alchemical practices in theurgy, bring him to life.
A golem? What's that?
A golem is a helper brought to life using divine words. A living statue endowed with massive strength. Can be made of clay, wood, stone, basically anything. I'll make one out of flour. Studying the Jewish Kabbals taught me a practice known as Maseh Bereshit. A mystic can use it to imitate the work of God. Just imagine. You know how helpful a golem would be at the mill? Carrying sacks, pulling wagons, standing guard. He wouldn't be much smarter than Zinnik, but he'd have the strength of 10 men.
My word. That sounds incredible. I have to see it.
So far, it's just all in my head. But if you're patient and help me, you'll see soon enough. It's in the interest of the advancement and prosperity of mankind. Just look at the Bible. Moses could command the waters and speak to God through the element of fire. And Jesus brought the dead back to life. I've no doubt that if our great Holy Mother Church had been around at the time, they'd have crucified Jesus the same as the Pharisees. And all the apostles would have been burned at the stake.
So a golem, you say, made of flour? For the good of mankind?
Exactly!
And what about the good of me? You promised me a reward.
You already know that you can learn the practical application of certain useful skills from me. But for a few groschen, we could discuss the art on a more, let's say, theoretical level.
I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. Supposing you give me a few groschen first, as a reward for bringing you the document, and then I'll decide whether to trade the coin for some learning.
Oh, see now, I completely forgot. Here you go. So you don't go around saying that Miller Crazel is a pinch purse. I added in what I owe for those sacks you carried. And if you want some more work, there's plenty.
I don't know, Crazel. Alchemy, golems, documents in locked chests. I reckon I've had enough. I'll have to think about whether I want to continue with this art of yours.
I get it. Greater good of mankind isn't everyone's goal. But don't forget, I can get you to that wedding. Miller's honor.
I'm so hungry I can eat a
Excuse me.
horse.
God be with you.
What's this next job all about?
I need to find a saltpeter pit.
Never a wasted word, eh, Crazel?
Short and to the point. That's my credo.
And how long will it take before you tell me what a saltpeter pit is?
A saltpeter pit is a pit in which saltpeter is formed.
This has something to do with the alchemy of yours, eh? I don't know much about that stuff.
Nitra is saltpeter. White crystals similar to salt.
And what needs salting here in the mill? Or is it supposed to be some peculiar Crazel wedding gift for a young semi?
Nothing of the sort. The Kabbalistic doctrine speaks of saltpeter as a vessel for the inexhaustible essence of life. Those white crystals are said to contain the very essence of being. That's precisely what we need to give life to our golem. Thanks to the ingredients from Hermes Trismegistos, his feet will never get tired and his fists will have the power to smash rocks. But saltpeter is the most important thing. Saltpeter will be the golem's heart.
So you're serious about this golem? And are you certain it'll work out?
Certainly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even try.
How much saltpeter will it take to bring to life such a big creature?
A lot. That's why I want you to find me a decent saltpeter pit. Do you understand?
I was hoping I'd learn something useful from you. But instead, you're making me wander around the countryside looking for some pit.
Well, you never know when an experience like that might come in handy.
All right, then. I'll look around for that saltpeter pit of yours. I just hope you know where to look, that you can point me in the right direction, and also that you'll get me into that wedding as a reward.
Yes, yes, and yes. Bonnie has a lead. She's a damned handy girl to have around. She can do anything you ask of her. But for you, the most important thing is that she knows how to look for niter. or saltpeter if you prefer.
So this Bonnie is some kind of witch who's in on this golem stuff.
Bonnie is someone I trust without question, and you should too. Not only will she teach you how to find saltpeter, but also how to differentiate it from common salt. The main difference is it has kind of cooling taste.
Hold your horses. You want me to taste that nasty stuff?
If you don't taste it, you could confuse it with some nasty rot. You don't want that.
Damn right.
Don't be such a lily liver, Henry. If Bonnie can taste saltpeter, so can you. She'll tell you the rest herself. You'll find her in the lair. That's a secret storage space I have here just by the pond. Only my best people can get in.
How can I get to this lair?
There's a bridge over the mill stream towards the southwest. Take the path to the left, just behind it along the pond. From that path, you turn right, uphill, between the rocks, and you'll find yourself right in front of the lair. You can't miss it. Oh, and so I don't forget. You could pick some herbs along the way to see Bonnie. It would make her very happy. She's just been through some tough times. Her dog died, and on top of that, she has to spend time with that blabbermouth Zinnik. On the other hand, Zinnik might be holding his tongue for a while after his encounter with the Troskowitz stocks.
If Bonnie spends time with Zinnik, she may want some spirits rather than herbs.
Bonnie? Never. Being a decent Christian, she avoids alcohol like the plague. Right along, so you're back as soon as possible.
So the lair.
Take care,
I'm so
friend.
hungry I could eat a horse. What was that noise? Woodcutters.
Hail! Lord be with you.
I'm Henry, Miller Crazel's new apprentice. He sent me to search for a niter pit and said you might be able to help me with that.
Of course I will. I'm Bonnie. Nice to meet you.
Bonnie? It's not a name I hear often.
It's not the name I was baptized with. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. That's why we use nicknames. What should we call you?
Henry's fine.
Well, that's not very creative. You know what? I'll come up with a nickname for you myself when I get to know you better. Did you bring me something from the mill?
Actually, Crazel said you'd appreciate some herbs.
He's right there. Do you have some for me?
I'm sorry. I've got nothing for you.
I reckon I'll just have to scrape together the ingredients for that magic ritual myself.
What kind of magic ritual?
The kind where Zinnik finally gets some sense into his head and stops making stupid beginner's mistakes. Just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistos would never have happened to me. Not me. While we're on the subject of rituals, did Crazel tell you about the golem?
He did.
And what do you think of it?
I'm curious to see what a golem made of flour will look like. I'm mostly curious to see if Crazel will really be able to breathe life into it with the help of saltpeter.
I'm more worried that as soon as it comes to life, it'll slay us all with one blow. So, if by some chance it looks like something's going wrong, you won't see my heels for dust. And I suggest you do the same. But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flower golems when we've barely just met. I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. Get to know you a bit. But if you're in a hurry to find Crazel's saltpeter, I won't keep you.
No. I have plenty of time. But where to start?
You know what? I'll start. When they caught Zineg in Troskovitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me and clap me in the stocks. I had to hide out here for a while, so I haven't had anyone to talk to. Life in the lair isn't all fun and games. Zineg and all the other mill knuckleheads were never worth much as company. So I'm glad the miller's finally found a normal hand for once. You've got a beautiful dog. What's his name?
Mutt.
What a cute fella. How did you find each other?
Among the wolves. Not a word of a lie. That is, I lost him and then found him again in a wolf pack.
Well, that's what I call an interesting past. I used to have a dog, but I don't anymore.
He died.
He started getting these lumps all over his body. He stopped eating, just slept all the time. And then, well, what's done is done. And what about you? What kind of family are you from? Also, thieves?
No. Pa was a blacksmith. I inherited something from him, I hope.
Oh, really? Would you teach me how to make, maybe, barrel hoops?
Those are pretty hard. Wouldn't you rather start with, maybe nails?
Sure. I'm pretty quick to learn and patient. That is, with one exception. When Crazel starts spouting off his alchemy theories, I'd rather run for the hills. What do you think of the old miller, anyway?
He seems awfully mystical. He has lots of experience, like as if he's lived for hundreds of years.
It's his beard that does that. Don't let it fool you. Thanks for talking to me. It really is good to have someone to pour my heart out to. But now, about that saltpeter. Before you came, and before Zineg fucked up with the manuscript, we collected saltpeter all over the place, mainly in sties. It has to be scraped from the walls. Horrible work, time-consuming and annoying. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked in a few chests, just in case, you know. Anyhow, now all the sties in the region are scraped clean and we're sitting pretty on a nice barrel of saltpeter.
Barrel is quite a lot.
For the whole Trotsky region, aye. Unfortunately, Crazel said we need at least 6 times as much.
6 times? Will one saltpeter pit be enough?
I reckon so. There should be as much as Crazel needs for his masterwork. If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms. Do you have any idea?
No, I don't. And Crazel, of course, didn't tell me shit.
Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is rotting. It can be shit or carcasses. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually nothing more than a mass grave. The best natural saltpeter maker.
Crazel said saltpeter is a vessel for life energy. I get it that it's left over from dead bodies, but how do you get it from shit?
God's mysterious ways. You know how it is.
And he also wanted me to taste it. That's nonsense, though, isn't it?
Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter or some other shit. It feels kind of cold on the tongue.
Jesus. And you know where to look for such a pit full of carcasses, do you?
Not exactly, but I have an idea. Times are evil and there's plenty of corpses. A person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't even know he's got a a saltpeter mine.
The local gravedigger?
Exactly. And the one we have here in the region is also the knacker.
Well, I haven't met him yet. Where can I find him?
The cemetery is beyond Troskovitz, towards the Apollonia Rocks.
So I'm in for a walk to the cemetery.
Seems like it. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with us before. It was fun, and pretty useful experience. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself. I'd be happy to teach you something, if you want.
I'll keep that in mind.
That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so I'd bring him some kind of offering. He's always dragging those carcasses, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a slab of fresh meat from Troskovitz butcher.
Good idea.
He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go bad on the way. Lots of luck, Henry.
Why do you work for the miller?
Because he pays well, and don't care how much coin I make on the side.
You mean by stealing?
And he doesn't ask any stupid questions.
What did you do before?
I got by any way I could. Believe it or not, I started in a convent.
You? A nun? Well, why not? I was in the cloisters myself for a while.
Oh well, different people have different fates. But we all ended up here anyway, in the armpit of the world.
What do you think about Crazel?
You're another one of those that don't know if they should love him or hate him, right? Crazel is his own man. Once you learn to get along with him, you can't help but admire him a bit. But sometimes, he's unbearable as soon as he opens his mouth.
What do you know about the Troskovitz gravedigger?
He's a pretty tough old bird. He follows the rule, I'll treat you the way you treat me. And he appreciates when a fella's direct and open. But I probably wouldn't tell him everything about us.
So, Bonnie, the most honest girl I know, sent me. I'd like to see some dead animals as models for painting a church fresco. A scene from the apocalypse.
That might be a bit much. But you learn fast.
How was the saltpeter collection and tasting again? Sounds pretty disgusting.
It wasn't so bad. Xena kept whining about it, but being a saltpeter collector, it has its benefits. When you go and clean someone's sty, they don't pay much attention to you and leave their purses and chests unattended. We made a pretty decent amount on the side.
What, by stealing?
Confiscating property for the greater glory of God. I hate the term stealing.
Just like Crazel. Tell me something more about Zinnek.
He's Andy, that's for sure. But also a bit of a fool. To be honest, I don't care for Crazel's horseshit most of the time either. I do this job because it's fun, unlike Zinnek. He does everything for his own good, doesn't give a damn about any greater cause or other people. Actually, he really pisses me off with his attitude. And he entertains himself by coming up with the stupidest nicknames for me. Dunga, for instance. What kind of a bloody awful name is Dunga?
Oh, lovely. And what does he call himself?
Scruffy. Or Jan, Nicholas, Franz, Peter, Jakub. The most bland, everyday names. He tries to be careful, but then he opens his big mouth and fucks it all up, just like in Troskovitz.
What is this lair place?
Crazel built a stall so all them honest, curious people in the mill, the likes of Hensel, wouldn't have to worry their little heads about what we're doing here.
You mean behind that boarded-up door in the cliff?
We're definitely not doing anything there right now, because of the mess in there. I told Zinnek to clean it up. I think he wants to see if the place will get so rotten that saltpeter will bloom on the walls.
I heard you could teach...
Take care now.
may be made worthy of the promises of Christ. Pour forth, we beseech thee, O Lord.
Greetings, my friend.
You must be the local gravedigger, right? I'm Henry.
Ignatius, master of the sod, at your service. Looking for a final resting place? Or do you need to bury a dead goat?
None of that. I have a different, slightly unusual request. Bonnie from Lower Semine sent me. We're looking for a saltpeter pit.
From Lower Semine? What pit?
A saltpeter pit.
I ain't never heard of nothing like that. What's it supposed to be? A pit to hell?
Nah, it's actually just a pit full of carcasses. These white crystals form on the walls of it, and that's exactly what we're after.
Ah, now I get it. You should have said you're looking for the pit I throw carcasses into. What's all this about Salty Peter? I'm going to go there anyway, so I'll take you there.
Really? That was easier than I thought.
Not even a chicken scratches in the dirt without hope of reward, though. You'll help me with something first. I have some collections from some Stratego farmsteads, and I'd be a fool if I didn't use a helping hand. At least one day I can take it a bit easy.
You want me to help you with your grave-digging business?
Why not? You look like a strong fella. You'll be a good helper.
Oh, dragging carcasses around isn't exactly a respectable job. But so be it. I'll help you with it. What else can I do?
Grave digging is a job like any other. Sooner or later, everyone needs our services. And if it wasn't for us knackers, folk would have to deal with their animal carcasses themselves.
Of course, I understand. I'm just a little worried about what people will say about me when they see me with you. I wouldn't like to lose the honor I've earned as squire to a nobleman.
Don't worry about what people say. They'll only strip you of your honor if you let them. So what then? Shall we take a nice little ride with my boys Snorter and Dragonfly here? Nice and early, at daybreak.
Let's get this over with, then.
Didn't you understand me? We ain't going nowhere now. Like I said, be here at daybreak. That's between night and day. Do you understand?
I understand. I'll come at dawn. I don't know if I'm completely ready for this, but let's get going.
Didn't you understand me? We ain't going nowhere now. Like I said, be here at daybreak. That's between night and day. Do you understand? God bless.
I don't know if I'm completely ready for this, but let's get going.
The dew is still on the leaves. The roads are clear. You don't need your horse. I'll stable him here. It'll be heaven for him. In any case, heaven's always close here. Hop on the wagon and Snorter and Dragonfly here will take care of us. Did I bring that stuff for Visor? Meat? Kane? Got it all. Good. Come on, then. Get a move on. We've got a long journey ahead of us, so get yourself comfortable so your arse won't hurt. So, you say you're from Lower Samine, eh?
Well, you could say that. I help the miller with whatever I can. I got a place to sleep there. Soon I'll be able to call the miller uncle.
I remember Crazel when he was still a wee lad. Even then he was a great big smart-ass. When I buried his parents, he was traipsing somewhere through the world. Maybe you heard what they say about Lower Samine round these parts. Crazel don't sell short measure, not that. He looks out for his reputation, but his helpers have been seen often in the villages after dark, looking fishy. Or during the day, in the pillories. Don't that Bonnie of yours belong to that gang too?
Bonnie's an honest girl, and her friend Zinek is too. Crazel only sent them to scrape saltpeter off the walls of the sties, so that's just what they've been doing. From what she told me, they had nothing else in mind.
Lower Samine's a thorn in the side for a lot of folk. Some on account of the competition. Some is just rubbed up the wrong way by that Crazel. Either way, all they need's the slightest excuse to grab their pitchforks. Go and grab the miller and shove his face right in his own millstone. Lazy bones. Whoa, boys, whoa! Come on, come on! Are you deaf? Oh, they're acting stubborn again. Now listen, Henry. Here on the left side, you'll see the ruins of a cottage that's been abandoned for a few years.
It looks mysterious. What treasures might be hidden there?
You'll soon see. I have a trap set inside the cottage. I wanted to lure a wolf into it, but that didn't work out. There's a deer rotting there unnecessarily. So hop in there and bring it to the wagon. Lazy bones. Finally. At least we're not blocking the road too much.
Oh, Jesus, what a stench. Better quickly throw it in a sack and take it back to the wagon.
about...
I want to talk to you.
What's going on, Ignatius?
Ah, I'm trying to explain to these fellas we've got nothing to do with no thieving around here. They should go to Lower Samine to complain.
2 stinking pieces of shit was sneaking around our sties and cellars and lining their purses with silver too while they was at it. Some scruffy and dunger. You must be scruffy, eh?
I'm Henry, and those, names mean nothing to me.
Like I said, if it's rotten carrion they're after, they should have come to me. A passion for knacking is the only thing we have in common.
Is that so? So prove it then.
Ignatius is telling the truth. There are all sorts of types causing trouble in these parts, not just from Lower Samine. Ignatius and I thank you for taking on the job of guarding the roads, making sure that honest, if somewhat grubby tradesmen stay safe.
Aye, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So, thanks.
Really good work, lad. Well, time waits for no man. Let's all carry on with our duties, eh?
All right, listen. We'll be going then. But if you happen to run into them 2 thieves, you tell us right away, got it?
Of course.
You can count on it.
Glad to hear it. Let's go, fellas. Maybe... Did I get this wrong?
Not much left for us to do here, eh?
Hopefully our luck will hold out, and we'll only be breaking the limbs of carcasses today. The next farm's just up ahead. Hop on, and let's go. Snorter, don't worry. That was just a kind of little favor for me. Now we'll help the locals here in Jdar with their carcasses.
So far, I've just carried sacks. I already did that for the miller.
Yesterday, the good wife from that farm came and told me both their pigs died. So we'll scoop them up and haul them off. I mean, you'll scoop them up and haul them to my cart. She says it was a curse. There was a flash of lightning, the pigs started trembling, squealing and puking, and then keeled over and dropped dead.
All right, that's what you get. People sin here in their seclusion, thinking they're out of sight of our Lord.
It ain't my first day doing this job, so I could see right off them pigs had been poisoned. The good wife swore them pigs were happy as, well, pigs in shit. She said they even let them go to a nearby stream to have a wallow. It flows here through the forest on the right. Since we're here, you ought to go and take a look around there. Check how clear that spring really is.
All right, I'll see what's going on there.
And I'm going to enjoy having a helper. At least for one day. Maybe I'll roll around in the grass here with Snorter and Dragonfly.
What the... Did I step in shit?
Oh, it's you.
I, didn't have time for a bath. But I'll go and have one now. Yeah. Ugh, and another.
reward you for it.
God don't reward me much, but I'll probably get something from the bailiff for hauling.
Well, I wish you and your helper lots of luck today. May God bless you.
Oh, you too. You too.
Ugh, Jesus, this is disgusting.
Bloody hell.
So, get over here so we can carry on.
I took care of the carcasses. We can drive on.
And what about this mysterious curse?
Oh, right. Slipped my mind. The watering spot, you said?
Aye. Take a look around. See if you find anything fishy.
Those pigs came here to drink. Where to now? I can smell something upstream. Ah, here it is. Wolves must have killed them. I didn't even eat them up. I'll go and tell Ignatius. It really wasn't a curse. There are rotting carcasses in the water upstream from the watering spot. No wonder the pigs caught some disease.
Well, what do you know? I was right. I'll give you a hand. It'd take you all night on your own. What now? Get over here so we can carry on.
I took care of the carcasses. We can drive on.
Nice work. There's even a bit of meat left for me.
Yeah, you'd eat that. They've been lying there God knows how long.
But nicely in the cold. There's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, you won't be eating it, so don't worry about it. Let's keep going. Lad, seeing as how you don't obey me, you're surely horsing around today. So far, it ain't that bad, eh? You don't have to take down no hanged man or bury an unbaptized child.
Well, ever since I started working for the miller, all I did was carry sacks. The sack makers here in the region must live like kings. Of course, it could be a lot worse.
I like having to carry sacks full of thistles. Now listen to me closely. You won't be carrying anything at the next farmstead. Instead, you'll have to make one carcass there. See, the work of a knacker ain't just about clearing away dead animals. Now and then, you've got to put down some creature, so it don't suffer. Or, like today, to put it down so everyone around it don't have to suffer. In this case, we're talking about a dog.
Well, what can I do? But I doubt I'll feel good about it.
That cur belongs to the greengrocer, Vizar. I've heard they're both pretty fierce. Don't draw too much attention to yourself at the farmstead. I'll give you some Aesop potion to drink first, and some meat and bane. Soak the meat with the poison and throw it to the dog. He'll probably be locked in a pen somewhere. As soon as it's done, we'll disappear before anyone notices anything. I got paid well for it from the neighbors, so don't fuck it up for me. Yeah! 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 Yeah!
I'm sorry.
Sakra! The dog isn't here. The door's open. Where did he run off to? Barking? He's coming from over there.
Henry, how come you're here?
Bonnie? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
First, tell me what you're doing here. And how come you're with that beast?
He's no beast. I came here to save him.
You mean steal him?
For him, it'll be a redemption from that horse and master of his. I'll take care of him, in place of my poor dead sniffer.
Bonnie... The gravedigger sent me to kill the dog. He's been paid to do it by the people whose livestock that beast killed. It's the last thing I need to do before he shows me the pit.
It's not the animal's fault. When Zenek and I were here last, I saw how old Vysarik treats him. He doesn't give him food, he abuses him. With a master like that, he won't last long. You wouldn't kill a dumb creature just because its master is a sick horseman, would you?
Well, you don't have to convince me. Ever since the gravedigger told me to do it, I've been trying to figure out how to save that dog. If you want to take him, I won't stop you.
You're a much better Christian than I thought you were. I'll take him to the lair. We'll meet there.
Hurry off now, before someone sees us together.
Come on now, boy. You'll like it in the lair.
It's taken care of.
Taken care of? What do you mean?
I set the dog free. He didn't deserve to die.
For fuck's sake, didn't deserve to die? We were supposed to get rid of him, 'cause that's just what he deserves.
Bonnie from the mill came and took the dog before we got to him.
Well, fuck me. How much more is that girl going to steal before she has enough?
Oh, she'll take better care of him than Baysar did. All he needs is to be fed properly, and he won't be dangerous anymore.
I surely fucking hope not. Because if he runs off and ravages something or someone again, then we didn't help at all. Let's go before we start looking suspicious.
So this is it. This is the pit.
Slowly, boy, slowly. Have a bit of respect. Death always deserves respect, whether it's people or animals.
I was expecting some huge hole in the ground. This is just some hollow. 3 piles of earth and that's it.
3 huge piles, you mean to say? True, it used to be one big pit. But then I found out when you pile up carcasses in smaller pits and throw some wet hay between them, it all rots better. And the better it rots, the more niter you'll have. Are you going to take some right away?
I won't. The miller will probably send some people here.
Well, they'd better not dig it all up. That'd disturb the natural balance, see? And soon they'll find out there's no place to find saltpeter.
Well, I reckon I'm delaying the inevitable. I'll still have to taste it.
You're going to taste it?
It's the only way I can be certain it really is saltpeter.
God's nails. And they say I'm disgusting. Wait a moment. I've got a reward for you. Just so's you don't think old Ignatius and his even older nags is ungrateful riffraff. Take it as a thanks for your help. Maybe you'll take over my trade one day when I'm pushing up daisies myself.
Who knows? Maybe that'll really be my fate. I'll live at the cemetery, build piles of carcasses, and eat bread with saltpeter.
Here's something that'll definitely come in handy if you ever need to go through all this again. Either with me or somewhere else.
Thanks.
Taste it then. Get to it. This I have got to see. You didn't have to make such a feast of it.
Look at me. I'm a Lord's messenger to a taster of cadavers. Cold and salty. This must be it.
Greetings. You know you stink, don't you?
I found the place where we can harvest saltpeter. You just head out of Troskovitz towards Apollonia, carry on alongside the road, then head off it at the right spot. Only it's not a pit, it's 3 piles of earth. The gravedigger Ignatius drove me there himself.
And is it the real stuff? Did you taste it?
Yeah. And I hope I never have to do that again. Ugh. I think the experience has changed me forever.
Oh, come on. You whine more than Zinnik. It's just commonplace salt. I was hoping it'd be closer. To go all the way to Apollonia. If I send 2 wagons, that should be enough.
What should I do?
That means I could mix a barrel and a half.
Krazul, focus. What else do you need from me?
Oh, sorry. What were you asking? About a reward? It's right here.
Thanks. How's it going with the golem?
Well, the whole thing is really appealing to a scholar of my field of interest and important for humanity. But certain circumstances have emerged which, unfortunately, move its creation somewhere further into the future.
Wait, what do you mean? So there won't be any golem?
Not for now.
What about all the niter? The life essence?
I admitted to myself it's maybe too much to take on, and I decided to go back to my roots.
So the search for saltpeter was for nothing?
Not at all. The saltpeter will help us create primordial matter. The origin. Chaos. Materia Prima.
God. Here we go again.
As alchemical scholars, we actually have only one task before us. To penetrate the diaphanum and find out where it gets its disposition and power from. Only then will we understand the nature of the shadows.
Eh?
I'll explain it to you.
Tell me then, what's the next task then, Crazel?
From behind the closed gates of Trotsky come quiet whispers, carried by the wind, all the way here to me in the mill. Do you hear it too?
No. Reckon my ears aren't that good.
Scribe Erezim received a trunk from Prague, and in that trunk was...
The document of Hermes Trismegistos?
No, a book. And from an author more venerable than Hermes. It's thin, with a sand-colored cover, embossed. Ordinary at first glance, but the treasure's inside. You might say it's kind of an alchemical cookbook.
So I'm gonna have to pick some locks again, eh? And in the castle, no less. I'd like to know how I'm supposed to get in there. Trotsky is shut tight.
For some. The gates of Trotsky may appear to be closed to us, mere mortals. But why try to force your way in when there's a person they'll invite in themselves?
What person?
Hold on, we'll get to that. We've got the Samine wedding coming up. I can't wait to try out my new potion against drunkenness there. What about you? You still need to get there?
Certainly. It's why I decided to work for you. Or have you forgotten? I hope your promise still stands.
Of course it does. What do you take me for? Start by quickly finding some decent clothes. Ad charisma tuendum. You look like a vagabond in what you're wearing now. St. Paul wouldn't be pleased with you.
So you'll really get me into that wedding? Am I dreaming?
No, you're not. But before you start celebrating, we won't be going by ourselves. We'll have company. Or, to be more exact, the two of us will be accompanying a certain person. Me as a friend and host, and you as a bodyguard, loyal servant. Call it what you will.
And who is this mysterious person?
A true lady will come to the wedding with us. Radiant as the morning star, refined as pure gold. All will be stunned by her beauty. And she'll be our lockpick that will find the weak spot in the gate to Trotsky. All it'll take is a little push. And clunk! The lock will open, and the book will be mine.
What weak spot?
The castle's weak spot is Chamberlain Ulrich, because he himself has a weakness for women. Of all the single damsels at the wedding, ours will be the most charming and irresistible for him. Noble or not, he's a mortal man, and he'll start to think with his male member. We will watch as he becomes feverish with lust. Soon he'll be begging to take our companion to Trotsky. He'll pretend his motives are pure, so she'll be more comfortable. And when the Chamberlain becomes insistent, you, as her personal bodyguard, will accept his offer. Naturally, you'll say you won't leave her side so you can defend her honor. Once in Trotsky, Ulrich will do everything to get you to leave him alone with her. And that will be your chance.
I can hardly believe that you, of all people, would come up with such a straightforward plan.
Well, it's not all that straightforward. I admit there's a certain element here that makes everything more complicated. First, we have to find our gracious lady.
What?
Look, she doesn't have to be a lady per se. We just need a wench with a pretty face. We'll get her a nice dress, some perfume. She doesn't even have to speak. We'll do the talking.
So a village girl will do?
I doubt an ordinary village girl would agree to what we're going to ask of her. You can find lots of capable girls at the Zhelyov baths, including some who aren't so well known. It's true, Dorothy can be a bit unpleasant, but You'll be giving her an offer she can't refuse.
Dorothy owns the bathhouse?
Aye, next to the alehouse there. You'll tell her I'm offering enough groschen to buy 2 cows or a small cottage. That should soften her up.
All right. I'll take care of it.
Excellent. You're a talented, likable youngster, like Knight Roland of yore. I have complete faith in you. And don't forget, we're going to need to dress the girl up and make her smell nice so she comes across like a real lady. So, stop off at Troskowitz as well and get her a nice brocade dress and some long-lasting perfume. Mintha would be ideal.
Where can I find the dress?
Where do you think? The butcher's? Go and see the tailor. Bartoszek has just the thing in his shop. A beautiful red dress made of Tyrolean brocade.
Why that dress exactly?
Because red is the color of love and passion. And rich Tyrolean brocade is just begging to be touched. Ulrich won't know where to look. The dress is likely to be pretty expensive, but that's no obstacle for you, right?
Where can I find the perfume?
Emmerich the apothecary might have something. They say he makes some perfume for his wife. Or ask Betty the innkeeper. She may be a god-awful battle axe, but a nice-smelling one. Or get hold of the recipe and make your own Mintha. As an alchemy apprentice, you should be able to manage.
I'll be going then.
Once you've got everything ready for the wedding, we'll meet in front of the fortress gate. There, I'll let our lady in on some other details of our plan. But that won't be for your ears. Anyway, you'll be rehearsing your speech to Lord von Berghoff then, won't you?
I can't wait.
Yuck! What the hell is that? That smell wasn't here before. Greetings. Do you need something?
I heard you swear by the alluring fragrance of Mintha.
Only the finest quality, Mintha. And now that I've been invited to the wedding, I'm keeping a close eye on my last 2 files. Do you like it?
I do. What do you want for it?
Haha, I'm definitely hanging on to this one. I take damn good care that no one takes it from me. Such a rarity. Besides, what good would it do you, a man?
You'd be surprised how perfume can help make a man seem more trustworthy. But I'll probably have to give this one to someone else who's also going to the wedding.
Well, I don't think it'll smell as good on her or him as on me. Moreover, I want to stand out at the wedding. Anyone can get Mintha perfume, but of the highest quality, so the fragrance lasts. I prize those little bottles over all else.
I don't know how else to convince you. And I don't want to pay that much for a little phial of perfume.
You don't now, but when you realize you've no other option... Get out! Somebody ought to grab it by the scruff of the neck.
How can I help you today, friend?
I'll have a look at the wares.
I hope you'll be satisfied, my friend.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you.
Good dog.
What is it, you scoundrel?
Crazel has an offer for you.
What does that old goat want this time?
He's looking for a pretty girl.
That's nothing. I've got plenty of them. What does he want her for? Not for himself, I hope.
No. He wants her to turn the Chamberlain's head.
Ah, so she's supposed to end up with Ulrich. Is that it? How much is he offering?
He says he can offer enough groschen for you to buy 2 cows. Or a small cottage.
It's quite a lot for our usual services.
And that's not all. Your girl will also get a beautiful red dress made of Tyrolean brocade and a perfume called Minter. Nobody will be able to resist her. I've already got everything. Just say the word.
That sounds nice and all. But that ain't nearly enough for certain services.
I don't understand. An offer like that? What's the problem?
You know what? I'm tired of this. Let's go and see what the girls have to say. They'll tell you about what they've been through with the Master Chamberlain. Girls, come here. Right, girls. We have a messenger here from Goodman Crazel. Tell us what you wanted to ask.
Well, it's about the Master Chamberlain.
He's looking for a girl for the Semine wedding.
God, anything but that. Dorothy, I actually have a lot of work to do, and...
Well, who wants to go first? Anna.
What should I say?
What should she say,
Tell me, why don't you want anything to do with the Chamberlain?
Well, the Lord Chamberlain invited me to Trotsky, and the girls warned me that it would be different to what I was used to. So I asked him if I should take a different soap or something. Or does the Master Chamberlain not like silk? Or if his bed is hard and my back will hurt.
If only.
But they said I'd have to do things that... How'd you put it?
Things they haven't even thought of in hell.
I thought the Master Chamberlain might be of a different religion, and that fucking a Christian girl would be a sin. But he believes in the same God as the rest of us.
Which makes it all the worse.
Then I thought maybe he was cruel to the girls, but I hear that's not the case either. It's not what he wants to do to us that's against God.
But what he wants us to do to him.
I thought he had leprosy.
Tell the girls how much Crazel is offering.
Enough that you'll be able to buy a small cottage.
Or 2 cows. Not bad, eh? Well, is anyone willing to go with the Chamberlain?
Not even for a golden goose.
I'd rather be celibate.
I thought he had leprosy.
Aye, but it's a tidy sum. I reckon I'll have to choose one of you myself.
Dorothy, I swear that
I'm not going anywhere. You can't make me.
Dorothy, I'll scrub all the tubs here for the rest of my life. I swear. All of them, every day.
I'll do that too, and I'll even take care of the outhouses.
Girls, come now.
I'll go then. If I can handle it a second time, it'll be a miracle. And maybe they'll even make me a saint.
No, you can't. Dorothy, please don't make her do that again.
Dorothy, for the love of God.
Calm down, girls. Don't worry. I'll never send you to the Chamberlain again. I just wanted to show Crazel's lackey here what you've been keeping from me for so long.
Christ almighty. I was starting to accept my fate.
God in heaven.
Oh, I feel filthy just thinking about it. I'd like to jump in a bath.
So, in case you didn't get the message, lad, no girl from Zhelioff is going with the Chamberlain.
All right. What am I supposed to do now?
Do what you like. We've said our piece. Go and find some heathen girl. A harlot like that came here recently, asking for work. She was from them nomads.
Aye, I remember her. Nose in the air, talking fancy like some scholar.
She introduced herself as Enelin of Winterthur, like she was some noble woman.
I didn't trust her for a moment. She was pretty, though. There's no denying that. I wanted to give her a chance, but she asked for so much coin. I thought I must be hearing things. Try asking after her in the camp. Maybe she's got a stronger stomach than my girls.
Poor thing.
I'll pray for her.
Well, thank you. I hear there's some Eneline here with you. Where can I find her?
She's calming our horses that help with a little faith. Follow the smell of the fillies and you will find her. Or if not, she will be getting water down at the pond. Woodbacht, so stippen.
God be with you. What would you like?
Are you Mistress Eneline of Winterthur?
Winterthur, Lyon, Vienna. It doesn't matter. What do you want?
I'm Henry. I was sent by Miller Crazel. We have a job offer for you.
Huh. How did you find out about me?
At the Zhelioff Baths. They said you asked about a job there.
I realized straight away it was a bad idea. What a pit. That cow who runs the place almost fainted when I talked about coin. If she had any idea my real value is 10 times higher. But be that as it may, what's the job?
To go to the Semine wedding with us. As a companion.
A wedding, you say? The last time I was at a wedding was in Nevers, France. I had to sing there. I'd like to avoid that this time.
You don't have to sing. Or even say much. All you have to do is behave like a lady.
Behave like a lady? Do you mind? I am one. Or hadn't you noticed?
Sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
All right, then. How much?
Crazel's offering enough to buy a little cottage.
A cottage? I was offered an estate for my services in Antwerp. And a 30-foot gondola in Venice. Although this is only Trotsky after all. I can't expect too much in this backwater. All right, then. I'll do it. But first, tell me this. What can I expect at this Semine?
Instead of singing, you'll be able to dance.
Lovely. And what else?
Now that Trotsky is closed, there's no more prominent stronghold in the region than Semine Fortress. Someone will surely give you a tour and show you the magnificently decorated chambers.
Tempting. Tempting. And what else?
I even hear Lord Otto von Berghoff will be there. The Lord of Trotsky. Someone will surely introduce you to him. Well, and wherever von Berghoff goes, He's followed by the second most important man in the domain, the Chamberlain of Trotsky, Sir Ulrich von Schaumburg.
The Chamberlain, as in the castle caretaker. I'm not interested in some little clerk.
You should be. He's the one Crazel wants you to pay attention to at the wedding.
Pay attention? How?
So you two can... How can I put it? You know, get friendly. Intimate. In a romantic way, if you get me.
I beg your pardon. Do you take me for some cheap whore? A harem girl? A brothel wench? A bathhouse hussy?
I'm sorry, but...
Silence! I am an Elaine, a companion, a courtesan. I am courted by gentlemen vying for my favour. I have been a concubine in Krakow, a mistress in Venice, and a gentleman's companion in Basel. My name is known in Brandenburg, Marseille, and Malopolska. I have fulfilled the wildest wishes of the most important commanders of Sigismund's army. Until he stopped paying, the ginger bastard, I'll do my work the way I see fit. Got that?
All right. Got it.
I should hope so. So, to the point. What do you want from the Chamberlain?
Crazel will tell you himself. Before we go to the wedding.
You men and your secrets. All right then, I'll wait for Crazel. But why not? I expect it won't be anything too complicated, and the coin is certainly worth it.
Not so fast. It won't be that easy with the Chamberlain.
Why do you think that?
It doesn't matter.
It most certainly does matter. If I'm going to do a good job, I need to know all the details.
Just so you know, Crazel originally wanted to take a bathhouse wench to the wedding, but the girls said they didn't want anything to do with him because of his special tastes. I asked them what's behind it, and, well, some wanted to vomit after meeting him. Others said they started considering the convent.
Poor girls. Here in the arse end of the world, girls are no doubt used to just lying on their backs and staring up at the ceiling.
Well, it seems it's not about what Chamberlain Schaumburg did to them, but what he wanted them to do to him.
I knew a Schaumburg from Nuremberg, and he was a hermaphrodite. He had both things, a respected person, a member of the town council. It can catch you off guard, because you don't know what you're getting into. Maybe it's also the case with the local bath wenchers. But I don't want to make fun of the girls. Not everyone wants to try new tricks, if you know what I mean. I must say, I'm quite curious about the Chamberlain now.
We're agreed, then?
Certainly. Believe me, it takes a lot to put me off. And just in case, there's this potion I carry around. A couple of drops and the Chamberlain will sleep like a log. Except I've run out of wine. I should have some at hand, just to be sure.
I can find some wine for you.
I'd manage somehow, but I won't complain if you see to it for me. There's one more thing, though. I don't think anyone will believe I'm a lady in these old rags.
Don't worry about that. Crazel told me to get hold of a dress and some perfume for you.
What dress?
A red one. Tyrolean brocade.
Brocade. I like it. Crazel clearly knows what he's doing.
I've got hold of the dress for you already.
Clever boy. I can't wait. Are you going to the wedding as well?
As your bodyguard.
Well, don't think you're going in what you're wearing now. You'd look like a beggar I brought along out of pity. Sort it out. And as for that perfume, it ought to be one that lasts a long time.
Crazel suggested Minter.
I'll take his word for it.
I've already got it for you.
Come on then, show me.
Any news about Marika?
Fellas, do you never learn? If not for Aranka, it would have ended badly. Marika has what she wanted, and maybe now she'll have some peace away from her father.
About the things for the wedding.
Yes.
I have a dress for you. What do you think?
My, oh my, that is very pretty. Fine handiwork. I'd tidy up the seams a bit, but so be it. We're not in a city, let alone Innsbruck. Thanks.
I have some perfume for you. Will this do?
My God! It smells just like the yellow headband I wore in Pisa. It brings back memories. Thanks.
I brought you some wine.
Oh, you remembered. Thank you.
A trifle. I've brought you everything you asked for. Are you ready to leave for Semi?
I am. Once you're ready, just say the word.
What are you roaming around here for?
Oh well. I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
So I was wondering, where do you keep books here at Trotsky?
You didn't answer me, but so be it. Books first have to be examined and sorted.
And where did you sort that alchemist cookbook?
Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help. But he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
I'll have a talk with Nickvard and find out what the problem is.
You think I haven't tried? But since you've already offered to address this pressing situation, listen to what I've learned. It seems Nickvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nickvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
The price of such a book must be incalculable. People like Nickvard are too dumb to understand.
But I digress. As I said, Nickvard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid, and Hirsch, the hand.
For a nobleman, Nickvard is quite wary of his own kind, speaking only to servants.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nickvard is a loner, which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkhove's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all 3 and see if they lead me to Nickvard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
Before I go, can you tell me where I can find those people in the castle?
Who, exactly?
You said Nickvard is avoiding you. Where at the castle does he live? Are there any places he frequents?
Nickvard lives like a hermit here at Trotsky. Like a ghost. His chambers are in the Crone's Tower. But God knows if he's ever slept there. He took his meals down in the Crone's kitchen. Lately, I've often seen him talking to Regina in the Knight's Hall, in the Maiden. or looking out the hall window. I caught sight of him a few times with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle.
So I just have to hope I run into him somewhere.
Nickvard always just shows up. I've rarely ever found him on my own. I'm not surprised you can't find him anywhere, since I've been trying myself.
Where is Bertha?
Bertha cooks for us in the Crone's kitchen. She's there most days. If you can't find her there, try the first house in the lower castle, across from the door to the dungeon.
Where is Regina?
As Lord von Berkoff's personal maid, she'll likely be somewhere in the Maiden's Palace, perhaps in the Knight's Hall, or on the floor above it, near the Lord's chambers. She even sleeps there.
Where is Hirsch, the stable boy?
I've seen him with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle. He sleeps in the house directly across from it. I don't know him much, though.
That's everything I needed to know.
What did I do to you?
Be careful. God is
Greetings. Do you need something?
I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine. But I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Did he say where he was headed?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Listen, Bertha. I'm not here to chew the fat with you. You're going to tell me right now what you brewed for Nickvard. Understand? Don't mess with me.
Christ, are you possessed or something? Take it easy, you'll find out soon enough. Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Nickvard didn't have time to run down the stairs, eh?
It was in the privy down below the Crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us. And I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another file. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
Look out!
Do you know where I can find Nickvard? The scribe said you might know.
It has
Kazim is suddenly interested in Nikvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nikvard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nikvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nikvard has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Libak for you.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Libak has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. He thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's potion book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I need help. You can give it some thought, can't you?
No! And now leave me alone.
Any idea what that was? I'll go there. Huh. Strange.
Which king would that be? I don't know exactly, but when the king commands, his subjects have to obey, don't they?
You didn't hear it from the Go and get your
God bless. I'm looking for Nikvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libak. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing, hmm?
What task?
Nick Libak, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nikvard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I am.
Right. You're yanking my pizzle. But if you're lying and I report you anyway, just in case, don't imagine I'll get in trouble over it. That's why you have to be vetted, to see if you're really on our side. The side that Nikvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? Hmm? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway. Once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nikvard's task.
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
I don't want an invisible sword. Them are spy swords. Suspicious.
I'll think of a way to convince you.
Be careful.
Have a kind.
How are things at home?
Did you hear about what happened at the big wheel?
At the mill.
Hey, you! Have you done something I should know about?
Come here!
What did I do to you?
Greetings. What do you need?
Show me your wares.
Good doggy, good boy.
Lord be with you.
About Nickford.
Got that sword yet, spy?
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nickford, then?
Nickvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Berghoff. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nickvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nickvard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him.
Don't cause any trouble, got it?
God be with you.
You silly bogey.
I bought a lovely...
Didn't you hear that the king himself announced that everyone...
God bless.
Look out!
Another senseless death.
You must be Nickford, eh?
God bless you.
Poor wretch.
Starting to stink.
Sand-coloured cover, embossed. That'll be the book Crazel wants, but it's quite ordinary. Apart from being covered in shit.
Good day to you.
I have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I didn't even look inside.
You had a treasure like this in your hands, and you weren't even curious to have a peek? Well, I suppose it's not for everyone. I'll have a look for myself. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
Let's just say the scribe didn't have it. It actually wasn't even in the castle. Under it, really.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil wine and alum. Grind. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistus. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? Oh, God damn it, Crazer, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time. Quick! Ka!
Feel free. You're no longer in mortal pain.
What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Crazel, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Like always. You'll send me off somewhere to look for something, and you'll have a fancy speech to go with it.
He knows you now as well as we do, Miller.
I do tend to do that, true enough. But no, today things will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part.
Never mind him. Speak.
All right, then. This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tackets.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistus and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
You're trying to find a cure for death? An elixir of immortality?
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Immortality is the goal of every scholar, at least the spiritual kind. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
So you went to a university in Prague? The son of a miller?
Why not? My father worked his arse off, and he had the coin for it, miller or not. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
So they kicked you out?
I didn't give them the pleasure. I left myself. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean thievery?
Oh, come on. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
What did your parents say when you returned from your studies?
My mother had already passed away. All my father said was, "I knew you'd be back." And he sent me to haul sacks of flour. I think in the end he was glad to have someone to take over the mill from him. From then on, alchemy became my true passion. I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create gold.
That was pretty daring of you.
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries, I managed to create something entirely different. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture, and all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
What is it? So it burns?
More than that, it makes a big bang.
A very big bang. But don't worry, we're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnik did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Kuttenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold. And that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerkbuch.
We couldn't believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
Before we get started, there's something I want to know. This book, Feuerwerkbuch, what's written in it?
Everything you'd want to know about black powder. How to mix it in the proper ratio, how to store it, how to light it properly, and especially how to use it in warfare, because that's the most important part, after all.
Do you really need that much saltpeter?
We do. Saltpeter makes up almost 3/4 of the mixture. Not even all the cows in the region could produce enough for us once we really get started with manufacturing.
What is it you're going to do with this powder?
During wartime, like it is now, a flammable and explosive mixture like this has more uses than you can imagine. If we had a few big barrels of the stuff, we could demolish Trotsky if we wanted to. And maybe we will.
All of us here are truly passionate about the idea of a new world, and now it's within our grasp.
What is it you studied at the university?
I was supposed to become a preacher.
That fits you. Maybe you'd even be a good preacher.
Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't.
God has a path prepared for each of us. And each of us here decided not to follow it.
I was supposed to be a dyer, but I was too lazy to work 6 days a week and soak my hands in lye.
I was supposed to become a nun, but I didn't want to give up the booze and fellas.
And I've already told you everything. The world is what you make it.
How did a scholar and an alchemist become a thief?
Prague is a big city, and a poor student has no chance of getting a decent place to sleep or even something to eat. Learning to shop with 5 fingers was the first requirement for survival. We're all masters of our own destiny.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
As long as you...